Man, what a wild ride. 5 whole years making reviews on this very day.
Oh no!
22nd of July 2017, I uploaded my NES Remix review. I had little to say about it, my microphone was awful, my editing software wasn't as advanced as it is now, I had it running at 15 frames per second, and now, I think I've improved? I've played some good games, some bad games, made new friends, got a few review codes from the QA guild, had all of the Mario games disappear from existence, sent 2 people to hell. I hate plots. So, to celebrate me, I've made a list of my top 20 video games of all time. But before I get started, I should mention a few things. The audio after this has no script, so sorry if I stutter or anything. You seem to like those videos though. These are my personal top 20, but you probably know that by now. Oh, and I'm also only going to do 1 game per franchise. Trust me, without that review, you only get 3 series. So, with that, here it is. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. I really do like this game. You've seen it in my review. I like it. But here's the reason why I kinda like it. Yes, it is kind of glitchy and unfinished. Weird. But you know what? I like the weird. I also like the open world illusion of the open world, at least on it, as Antdude would say. Notice me. And I think the reason I like it is because it reminds me a little bit more of Spyro. I mean, let's be honest. I think the only reason this franchise makes it onto the top 20 is because of that alone. If it was any other game, I wouldn't say they're my favorite. I do really like it, especially Crash 4. The new one. Screw the old one! But yeah, it's open world, it's still fun to play around. I like most of the humor. It's just really fun. I don't know, I just really like it. I just like it! If anyone's gonna ask, I am going to review this game once it is complete. Rebirth better be the last part, okay? I don't really like Final Fantasy VII, okay? I mean, it's a good game, I'm not gonna deny that, but I think it's just too big for my taste as well as just a lot of text. A lot of text. This, I like the gameplay, I like the story and everything. It feels a little bit more easier to play than a regular JRPG. I'm not sure how everyone feels about combat. I mean, I haven't played Final Fantasy 15, but I do know a lot of people don't like the combat there. I can't say much since I haven't played it yet, but for what I've seen, they're a bit similar, and yeah, I really like the new combat. I like how they even added the whole choice system in there. You keep fighting and dodging and stuff to build up this meter, and then you use that to use special moves, and you got the MP and items. It's a really cool idea, and I really like it. I also like how it's easier to understand the story than the last one. I know how it was back then, but I don't know. I felt very confused on what was going on, what this was supposed to be like, and everything. This I can understand. Now, the reason it's a bit low on the list is because I feel like it goes a bit too far into the filler parts. Like, there's a lot of filler that doesn't need to be there. I mean, I understand why it's there. They want it to be a one big game. But at that point, it still feels a lot like filler. Don't get me wrong, still pretty fun. But it's just alright. Okay, that's all I can say. Bleh! Don't worry, this whole list is not going to be RPGs. In fact, this is the last RPG I'm going to mention. That's right, I think Persona 5 is the best RPG I've ever played. Particularly Persona 5 Royal. I really like the story and the whole Spiderman situation where you had to have 2 lives at the same time. The story is really good. I like the music, god damn it, the music. And the gameplay is really fun. It should be fun, but they make it fun. They got the weakness and everything. If you hit the weakness or get them down, that means you get one more. And you can baton pass it to the others and use up less SP and gain a bit more HP. If you do it with everyone, the last move will cost nothing. And then you can just collect them all like Pokemon and just... I also like the sneak stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit, maybe it's because of the difficulty I chose, but it's a bit easy. Except for the bosses. But yeah, I do have my own issues, like the whole relationship system is, dear God, that's a mouthful. I'm gonna have to explain if I ever review this one. But this is probably the best RPG I have ever played. FZero GX. I had a feeling that I had to put a racing game in this list at some point, but if I were to pick out of any of them, I'd say it'd be FZero GX. Yeah, Mario Kart is good and all, but I really feel like the speed is a little bit better than the items. Although both series are really good, don't get me wrong. And if I was to pick out of all of them, I'd say FZero GX is the superior. It doesn't have those back controls with FZero X. It's not the GPA ones, and FZero the original is so close to being almost as good as that, but I feel like FZero GX makes it a bit better. You're going really fast, you're just so crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Simple enough to explain. You're going really fast. Case closed. I also like in both FZero X and GX actually is all gravity stuff, and has anyone ever mentioned about comparison to that on Mario Kart 8? Maybe they have, What's sad is that this is the best F-Zero game, but it still has a lot of improvements needed. Like, the controls still aren't the greatest. The story mode is really hard. This could really use some online multiplayer. Seriously, guys. I feel like if they have multiplayer in there, have them with CPUs. Or maybe it does. Maybe. I need to go back and look at that. So yeah, I really like it. Oh yeah, and I like the whole arcade counterpart stuff. It's really fascinating to learn about. I wish we still had games that work like that, but Now here's a game many of you might not know much about. VVVVV, or as other people might call it, www. This one is probably more so liking it because of the aesthetics, but I also really like the gameplay. All you have is one button, and that changes the gravity. Do this to solve puzzles while listening to some good old BitTune music. It doesn't get more simpler than that, but there's still a lot of fun to be had there, and I just really like it. It's also one of the earliest games I got on my 3DS eShop, which I accidentally erased my eShop account a long time ago. It's a long story, but luckily it's on other platforms, especially the Switch. The 3DS would have been the best way to go, but with the Switch you get multiplayer, so that's good. The multiplayer doesn't really add anything, but that's cool. Actually, you know what, I take it back, 3DS is still the best one, you got a map. Shovel Knight. And I will review the other Shovel Knight games when I get those goddamn 4 amiibos. How many amiibos are there? But yeah, I liked it back then, and probably really liked it back then. I like the music, I like the small stories, especially in the DLC ones. I like the gameplay stuff, I like the whole choose your world thing, but screw that, I'm gonna get everything I can get. I just like it all in general, it's just really good. I like it. Go watch the review. I'm sorry if I'm not having much to say. If I were to go into a full review, I'd go into a full review, but yeah, no, I just really like it. NES Remix. Funny I mentioned that earlier and now it's here, haha. This is a simple concept that really does go a long way. It's the old games, but you make challenges out of them. And then you make new challenges out of them. And then you have stuff like Nintendo World Championship and New Super Luigi U. I wouldn't say one is better than the other, maybe. It just depends on you. Of course, you're not gonna be able to get it anymore on the eShop when it closes down. However, a good thing is that in America, not Europe, America, you can get buy it physically. But everywhere you can get an Ultimate NES Remix on the 3DS. I don't have that one, okay? Yeah, but if it's like any of the other ones, then I say go for that one. Probably, but it's such a good game. I love it to death. And hey, there's a reason why I picked it as my first review. Retro! Rayman Origins is such a good game. After no Rayman, after Raven Rabbids, as good as that franchise is, I wish we got Rayman back. But then you got Rayman Origins, which brought back to Rayman's roots, but made it a whole lot better, and it's so satisfying to move and everything. The music is so awesome, the mood, the punching, the doing anything is fun. I like the chase stuff as well, it's fun. But I'm gonna be honest, I would have to say Rayman Legends is a bit higher. Now, I don't really like the aesthetics as much, and I'm not too sure about the gimmicks or the levels. It's essentially the same thing, but not as good in those departments. It does have one thing. It has all of the Rayman Origins levels in this one. So in that sense, Rayman Legends is probably a bit higher than that. But I was really thinking about putting Origins above. Both games are good though, I just, you know. Kirbys Adventure Wii. To be honest, I'd say from looking at it, maybe the 3DS games are a bit better. And probably the new Forgotten Lands thing, is that what it's called, the 3D one on Switch? That one probably would be better, but I haven't played it, so I can't go off that. Kirbys Adventure Wii. It's just Kirby, but a bit more it's a bit more Kirby. I just really like this, okay? Out of all the games, I picked this one. And yes, Kirby, I'm not too sure about. I mean, it's really good. Kirby Superstar, or Kirby's Fun Pack, as the good people call it. It's not much of a full game. It feels like Sonic Adventure at times. You got some good stuff here, but nothing that makes it satisfying enough to call it a full game. It gives you more hours, but I just don't know. Kirbys Adventure Wii, I go with that, yeah. Oh yeah, Kirby Epic Yarn's good, but not as good as I knew. Also, maybe it's just me, but I really like the whole Mega Inhale thing, or whatever that's called. I just like that concept. And I like the friends. I like to having multiple friends along with you. You know, when I can get any friends with me. But yeah, if I order Kirby games, I take this one. And it's a really satisfying journey to have. I just like Kirby. Kirby's good. Okay. Hear me out. What if we had another Kid Icarus game already? Kid Icarus Uprising. The NES game is not that good, and I've not played the Game Boy one. I just so like the Kid Icarus Uprising game, okay? It's such a different game, but so good. Damn it, you got flying sections, you got all the multiple weapons, then you get the ground one, and the humor, the comedy, the talking, the everything. You got Dog Pits, which, haha, shout out Hedgehog jokes. It's just really good. And you also have the multiplayer, which is still up to this day. That's kind of amazing, honestly. I mean, when I recently played it, I think I died a bit too many times. I think I'm a bit rusty. But, damn, it's a really good game. You should get it. They should remake it. They should make a new one! WarioWare Smooth Moves. Out of all of them, I'd say that one is probably the better one. WarioWare in general is such a good series though. You got all those tiny minigames and it gets fast and it's so much fun. There's not much else to say about it, okay? That's all I can say about WarioWare. But they do use the Wii remote very well. I like how they use it to all its gimmicks. When it works, that is. But yeah, it's good. Nintendo Land. I'm not gonna be able to use footage for this because it doesn't work anymore, so I'm going off memory. Nintendo Land, the launch title for the Wii U. Rest in peace. You may be bad, but you're still good in my heart. This is such an underrated game. It may not be a strong one, which I can understand, but it's so underrated. All those little mini games are really fun to do, especially if you have friends. The Metroid one, the Mario one. I like the Donkey Kong, I'm not sure why, but I just like the Donkey Kong one. I like the Game & Watch one, I just like them all. So yeah, I also like the main theme, it's just so funky. I like the memes, okay? Okay, let me go into a bit more. It's another simple concept. There's a group of friends, one of them is the killer or imposter. You have to do tasks before everyone's killed, or figure out who the imposter is, while the imposter has to kill everyone before getting found out, or before the tasks are complete. And the chaos that ensues from that is amazing. It's just so good to play. I think I'm getting a bit tired after playing it all the time, but it is really good. The memes, I just like the memes. I just really like people yelling at the memes like getting annoyed. Come on, the memes are funny, okay? Now here's a series I never thought would ever make it to this list. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know, whenever I try to play Zelda games, they never really click with me. I try to keep going and going until I just get stuck and I give up, or I just get burned out, I don't know. Zelda, just never really clicked that well. I don't think the game's bad, but it just doesn't work with me. Zelda Breath of the Wild? Yeah, I can dig. This is a game that takes the original concept of what a Zelda game should be and just blows it out of proportion. The world is so big, you can do anything in whatever order. And it's really hard, but personally not hard to the point where I want to give up, but it's just, wow, there's so much to do and you could go do anything and all that stuff. You could probably beat the boss without doing anything, maybe. I just really like this one. It's just good. It's also the one that finally figured out the whole open world stuff. And others try to copy it. But not this one. This one is a masterpiece. Spiderman, the world of Spider-Pan. Out of all the Marvel superheroes, I like Spider-Man the most, okay? So a game where you control and it feels exactly like Spider-Man is so good. Then you got the story, which is our same old Spider-Man goodness, and you got a really good game. Made by the same people who made Spyro. Good on them. Here's how you know a game's really fun. When the missions are really good too, but you spend more time just doing nothing, and that alone is fun. That's how you know it's a good game. Gotta be honest, this one was also a really hard decision to make. I really like Ratchet Clank. I haven't played most of them. The only ones I've played were 1 to 3, Size Matter, PlayStation 4, and Rift Apart. So after some hard thinking, I say this one. It kinda gets all the stuff a bit right down and fixes all the other issues the last ones have. Again, I have not played any of the PlayStation 3 ones, so I can't take your word for it, but I think this is a good balance and a really good concept. You got Ratchet & Clank transported into a world where Dr. Nefarious has already won. This has let you finish and further into a second dimension, and I love it. The combat's still pretty good, they got it down just right. Even if it's different from the PlayStation 2 one, I think this is a little bit for the better. I like all the good old weapons. It's got the story pretty good. I still like how I kept the whole short for replayability for New Game Plus. It's really good. And I really like how they use the PlayStation 5 controller. It's not much, but they did it pretty good. Smash Brothers. Yeah. Smash Brothers. Here's a short opinion on the Smash series. Smash 64 is goofy and old. I love it. It's not great, but I got a soft spot. Mainly it's overrated, but it's definitely better than 64. I don't think it's the best Smash game, but it's definitely worthy of a big jump after the 64. Brawl is my baby! I just love Brawl to death. Smash 4, I love that even more. I was there when the hype was real. I didn't have a Wii U, that's how hyped I was. And Ultimate is a little bit better than 4. So yeah, I like Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's got all the characters, the story mode sucks though. Got good old music. Yeah, there's not much I can say. I like the whole combat and stuff and everything, and Smash 64 Melee was stiff. Brawl and 4 was floaty. This one tries to keep it a bit more in the middle for competitive while still being easy on the newbies. And there's always a place where you can play as your me, okay? Now, you may be wondering, but Retro, if all the Mario games are gone just like I said in your review for plot convenience, why is this one here? How are you playing it? I recorded this before they all went, okay? Super Mario 3D Land. This is gonna be a controversial one compared to everyone else. I don't think a lot of people will ever put this on the top 10 or anything like that. But I just like the concept. Hear me out. The 2D games are good, still good. Then you got the sandbox games like 64 and Sunshine and Odyssey, where they take it out of the window, but it's still more enough that's fun in its own rights. There's Galaxy, which is more linear than people like, but still really fun with the whole open world. 3D Land is even more linear, but just because it's not open world or anything like that, doesn't mean it's not good. Here's the truth. I really enjoy the 2D games, and I enjoy them even more when they're in 3D. This may be also a lot biased to be honest, but I don't know, I like it. It's the good old 2D Mario games, like the new Super Mario Bros. Ones as well, and it's just got the rules and it's all in 3D. You don't need much to be good. And this is my comfort game. Now, Odyssey is amazing, so is Galaxy, but sometimes simple can be a bit better. I like this. From one controversial opinion to another. Sonic Heroes. Hear me out. I really enjoy the 2D games. I enjoy the 3D ones a bit more, but here's the thing. Here's where I'd rank the kind of games. Boost is alright for a game, but I wouldn't pick that out of them. Then you got the 2D ones, and then you got the adventure ones. But here's the thing. I only enjoy Sonic's portion of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but they don't give enough to satisfy me for a whole game, and the other characters suck. Sonic 6, it could be good, if they improved a bit of Shadow and Silver, and the rest of the game while we're at it. Sonic Heroes is a bit more glitchy than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2's Sonic, but out of all of them, this feels more like as a better game as a whole. You don't have any big catfish, Knuckles going in space or anything like that. I find it fun, okay? And I don't find it slow, while it does have slow parts. You gotta use your skills to get past them, okay? Just like the original games. And it doesn't have to have any big plot or anything. It just needs to be fun. And fun I had. Minus a couple of parts, but I did have fun. Amy sucks. And before I go to the number 1 spot, here's a lightning round of games that couldn't make the list. Like Like a Dragon. I really enjoyed the side stuff and the story, they are gold, but the main part of the gameplay is just more RPG and it's just meh. Pokemon Black and White. It's just Pokemon. Out of all the Pokemon games, I choose this one, but I can't say much. I also haven't played in a while, leave me alone. Pikmin 3. It takes what the first game did and refines it a bit more, and I like it. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, to be exact. I don't know much, I can't really remember the difference. I'd say you'd be fun with either one. Metroid Dread. You get lost. It's even better than Super Metroid, which before the Metroid Dread, I would have considered Super Metroid to be my favorite Metroid Dread game. It's good old looking around to get lost, and when you get to the enemy, it's a good old chase and hide. Hide and seek. Squid Game. Goat Simulator. This. Frickin' this. Dragon Quest XI. It's a bit more simpler, but that's probably for the better, so it's not complicated, and something about it I really like. Undertale. Yes, there's a lot of RPGs, but these are the only ones I'd really like. All the RPGs would be pretty low, to be honest. Anyway, Undertale. It's a really cool concept of the game, I like the music, the aesthetics, and it's the only game that really makes me think about my actions, and no other game has yet to do that. And finally, number 1. Ico the Dolphin. You were waiting for a second, weren't you? You'd think I'd forget a Spyro game. This could be considered cheating because it is a compilation of the other games. But these games have been remade. And besides, if it wasn't for this, I'd put Spyro the Dragon. And Spyro Reignite Trilogy is a little bit better than Spyro 3. Plus, it got the other 2 games. I'm putting this one on the top of the list. Okay? I just really love Spyro. The whole exploration in 3D and doing all the side stuff, running, jumping, gliding, flaming, some of the characters, the aesthetics, the music, especially the music. And after the whole downfall, we finally got Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Something I was really hoping for, especially after Crash Insane Trilogy. And man, it did not disappoint. It did disappoint in some ways, but it really did not disappoint. It's my favorite game, and there's no denying that. I can't believe I was worried about not having a favorite game, but no. This is the greatest game to ever exist. and it needs to be ported to PlayStation 5. Please, it may not do much, but please, please. And you betcha Pixel Rare and I'll be reviewing Spyro 4 if they ever make that. So, there we have it. I don't know what to say. This part I haven't write this part for a script either. Just thank you for being with me this whole time. I hope you had fun watching this as I had fun thinking about this and speaking. But if you disagree with me, let me know your top games in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching. And just thanks for subscribing and bothering to watch me. And I'm sorry this year has been few on reviews, okay? I'm sorry.